Welcome back, Freaky Fanatics, to the Freaky Stories podcast, where we unravel the unbelievable and make it unforgettable.
Sounds exciting.
I'm Adrian, your host for this wild ride.
And I'm Julia, here to help us explore the twists and turns of today's tales.
We've got two stories that'll grab you by the imagination and not let go.
Can't wait.
First, we're journeying to the ancient Silk Road, where a wealthy merchant and a skilled thief experience a body swap that's going to make you question everything.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Then we're shifting gears to a quieter setting, a library.
Okay.
But don't let that fool ya.
Uh-huh.
This bookworm's about to face a goblin invasion that only she can see.
These stories really make you think about how easily our lives can be flipped upside down and what happens when we're forced to walk in someone else's shoes.
Okay, let's unpack this first story. Picture yourself in the bustling Kashgar marketplace on the Silk Road.
Okay.
It's a whirlwind of sights, sounds, and smells. Traders haggling, camels groaning, spices filling the air.
I can almost smell it now.
And amidst this chaos, we meet two characters whose lives are about to collide. Omar, a wealthy merchant dripping in silk and arrogance, and Yasmin, a streetwise thief just trying to survive. What stands out to you about this initial contrast?
It's fascinating how the story sets up these two characters who seem worlds apart.
Right.
Omar is blinded by his wealth, completely detached from the struggles of everyday people. He represents that side of humanity that can become callous and indifferent when insulated from the realities of those less fortunate. Yasmin, on the other hand, embodies resilience.
Yeah.
She's forced to operate in the shadows, to rely on her wits and skills to make ends meet. You get the sense that she understands the true value of things, the cost of survival, in a way that Omar never could.
And it's almost like fate decides to give them a crash course in each other's realities through this mystical amulet, this object whispered about in hushed tones.
Right.
Suddenly, inexplicably, Omar and Yasmin swap bodies. Omar wakes up in a filthy alley, his fine clothes replaced by rags, and he sees Yasmin staring back at him from a puddle. Meanwhile, Yasmin finds herself surrounded by the kind of luxury she's only ever dreamed of, looking into a mirror and seeing Omar's hardened features. Can you imagine that feeling, listener? Waking up in a completely different life, trapped in a body that's not your own.
It's the ultimate out-of-body experience, isn't it? And what's so compelling is how this forces both characters to confront their own biases and assumptions.
Yeah.
Omar, stripped of his wealth and status, is forced to join a caravan traveling the Silk Road. He goes from barking orders to enduring the harsh realities of desert travel,
Right.
the scorching sun, the lack of comforts, the constant threat of danger. But here's where it gets really interesting. He's surrounded by the very people he would have dismissed before, and he starts to hear their stories, their tales of loss, love, and survival. It chips away at his hardened exterior, revealing a vulnerability he never knew he had.
It's almost as if the hardship itself becomes a catalyst for change. He's forced to rely on others to experience the world from a completely different perspective.
Yeah.
And you see that flicker of empathy starting to grow, the recognition that there's more to life than wealth and power. Now, while Omar is going through this transformation on the road, Yasmin is back in Kashgar, navigating his world of wealth and privilege. You might expect her to revel in it, right? But that's not what happens at all.
Right. She could have easily chosen to indulge in the comforts she's never known, but instead she's repulsed by the excess, the waste, the careless disregard for others that Omar's life represents.
Wow.
It's like she sees the true cost of his wealth, the impact his greed has had on those around him, and this awakens a sense of justice within her, a desire to make things right.
Yeah.
So what does she do?
I don't know. What does she do?
She starts using Omar's fortune to help those in need,
Really?
becoming a sort of Robin Hood figure, redistributing wealth and challenging the very system that created this disparity in the first place. Talk about a role reversal.
It makes you wonder if true empathy can only be cultivated when you experience the world from a different perspective. If you, the listener, were suddenly placed in Yasmin's position, how would you react? Would you be tempted by the power and luxury, or would you try to use it for good?
Good question.
It's a question that really makes you examine your own values.
It does, and just as these characters are starting to grapple with their new realities, the story throws another wrench into the mix.
Oh no.
A ruthless bandit chieftain targets Omar's caravan, hungry for the riches he believes are on board. Meanwhile, back in Kashgar, the real Omar is plotting his revenge on Yasmin, completely unaware of the transformation she's undergoing. We're left with this dual tension, a physical threat against the caravan and this emotional clash brewing back in the city.
Right.
What do you think this tells us about the nature of change?
It's like the story's asking, can real change happen if it's forced upon you, or does it have to come from within? Omar is being pushed to his limits physically and emotionally on this journey, while Yasmin is choosing to change, to act on the empathy she's developed. So we've got these two parallel journeys unfolding,
Yeah.
both fueled by this bizarre body swap.
And both leading to a confrontation that could change their lives forever.
Hmm.
I'm on the edge of my seat wondering what will happen when these two storylines collide.
Me too.
Yeah.
But let's pause here for a moment. Let the listener really absorb what we've uncovered so far. Two lives intertwined, two journeys of transformation, one forced, one chosen, and the question of whether they'll revert to their old selves when or if they ever switch back. We'll be right back after a quick message with the rest of this gripping tale and another freaky story that's just as mind-bending.
All right, I'm ready for our second dose of freakiness. Let's dive into the story of Saffron and this hidden world of goblins she stumbles upon.
From the bustling Silk Road, we're now transported to a quieter setting, a library. Imagine the smell of old books, the soft rustle of turning pages, the sense of peace and possibility that libraries hold.
Ah, yeah.
That's where we meet Saffron, a classic bookworm who feels more at home in fictional worlds than in reality.
I can relate to that.
But her reality is about to get a whole lot more fantastical.
Oh.
And it all starts with a book, right? There's something so alluring about forbidden knowledge, those secrets hidden away in restricted sections. It speaks to that innate human curiosity, the desire to push boundaries and explore the unknown. That's exactly what draws Saffron in.
Makes sense.
You got it.
Yeah.
It's not just any section of the library, though.
Uh-huh.
This is the restricted section, a place shrouded in mystery, filled with ancient tones and whispered warnings. Saffron, usually a rule follower, finds herself drawn to a particularly strange book, a spell book filled with cryptic symbols and spells with names that sound like something out of children's rhyme. Things like Baffle Gabble for the Befuddled Eye and Rhyme of Untimely Slime.
That sounds a little ominous.
And of course, she can't resist trying one out.
Oh no, what could go wrong?
Well, imagine you're in Saffron's shoes, listener. You utter a few nonsensical words, expecting nothing to happen. But then your perception shifts.
Wait, really?
It's like someone's turned on a hidden camera, revealing a layer of reality you never knew existed.
Oh, wow.
Suddenly, Saffron sees them.
Sees what?
Goblins. Dozens of them, wreaking havoc in the library.
Mm-hmm.
The catch.
What's the catch?
No one else can see them.
No way.
It's like she stumbled into a hidden world.
Wow.
A parallel reality that's invisible to everyone but her. What kind of thoughts and emotions do you think would be swirling around in her head at that moment?
A mix of terror and excitement, for sure. The world you thought you knew is shattered. You're the only one who sees the truth.
Yeah.
Talk about feeling isolated and overwhelmed. But also, there's a thrill in being privy to a secret, a hidden world.
Right.
It's like being handed the keys to a secret kingdom,
Mm-hmm.
but a kingdom full of mischievous, chaotic goblins, no less.
Exactly. And she's not just an observer. She's now the only one who can do anything about this goblin invasion. This shy bookworm is suddenly thrust into the role of protector, defender against a threat no one else even believes in. Talk about a challenge.
I bet.
But she's got this ridiculous spell book as her only weapon. And the way she uses it, well, let's just say it's more hilarious than heroic at first.
I can just picture her trying to wrangle these goblins with spells like Symphony of Ridiculous Noises and Flea Circus Extravaganza. It's a brilliant juxtaposition.
Right.
This quiet, introverted girl battling these chaotic creatures with spells that sound like they came straight out of a Dr. Seuss book.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected solutions can be the most effective.
Yeah.
And it speaks to the power of imagination, of thinking outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
Saffron's bookish knowledge, which might have seemed useless in the real world, becomes her secret weapon. She uses her understanding of goblin behavior, gleaned from all those fantasy novels, to anticipate their moves and outsmart them. She realizes they're attracted to noise and shiny things, so she creates distractions, luring them away from crowded areas with enchanted mops running amok in a cacophony of ridiculous sounds. It's a chaotic ballet of spells and goblin shenanigans.
Wow, so she's like the Pied Piper of goblins, but with less music and more chaos.
And all playing out while the townspeople are completely oblivious.
It makes you wonder what other hidden worlds might be lurking just beneath the surface of our everyday reality.
I know.
What if we're all just walking around missing these extraordinary events because we're not tuned into the right frequency? It's a thought that really sparks the imagination.
It does. And it makes you appreciate the power of perspective, the idea that there's always more to see than what's immediately apparent. But back to Saffron's predicament.
Okay.
This goblin invasion culminates in this epic showdown at the town square gazebo.
Oh, boy.
Goblins are clambering over each other, reaching for a shimmering orb that's the last trace of Saffron's magic. She's exhausted, outnumbered, but she's got one last spell up her sleeve. And you guessed it.
Let me guess.
It's the Flea Circus extravaganza.
Okay, now I have to know. Does she manage to repel these goblins with this ridiculous spell? And does anyone ever believe her story?
Great questions.
Or is she destined to be a silent guardian, forever protecting her town from unseen threats?
Those are great questions, and we'll get to those answers right after a short message.
Oh, come on.
But I'll leave you with this thought, listener. What if we all have a bit of watcher within us? A responsibility to protect the things we love, even if it means facing challenges no one else can see. Stay tuned for the rest of Saffron's story and the conclusion to our Silk Road adventure. All right, freaky fanatics, let's jump right back into Saffron's showdown with those pesky goblins. Remember, she's standing at the gazebo, outnumbered and armed with nothing but a spell that sounds like it belongs at a county fair. Flea Circus extravaganza.
It does make you wonder, did she really think this would work? Or was it a last-ditch effort born out of desperation?
Well, picture this. Saffron yells out the spell, and that shimmering orb explodes. But instead of fire or lightning, it bursts into a swarm of magically amplified fleas. These aren't your average garden variety fleas either. They're supercharged, leaping and biting with a ferocity that would make even the toughest goblin cry for their mama.
Oh, that's brilliant. So it's not so much a battle as an incredibly itchy inconvenience. You have to admire her ingenuity. She turned a weakness into a strength, using the goblin's own chaotic nature against them.
Exactly. It's like she instinctively understood that sometimes the best way to fight chaos is with a different kind of chaos. And it works. The goblins who moments before were all menacing snarls and greedy grabs are now reduced to a mass of scratching and swatting, completely overwhelmed by this tiny hopping army. They shriek, they scramble, and finally they flee back to whatever shadowy corner of reality they crawled out of.
Yeah.
And the town, well, they remain blissfully unaware of the epic battle that just saved them from a goblin infestation.
It makes you think about all the things that might be happening around us just outside our perception. What if there are unseen forces at work, shaping our reality in ways we can't even comprehend?
It's a thought-provoking idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it speaks to the mystery that lies at the heart of these freaky stories. Go back to Saffron. She's exhausted, relieved, but also burdened with a secret that she can never share. Her only proof of the invasion, that ridiculous spell book, vanishes into thin air. She's left with just the memory of the event and this lingering feeling that she's now the unseen protector of her town, the guardian against threats no one else can see.
That's a heavy responsibility for someone so young. It makes you wonder if she'll ever be able to embrace her role as the Watcher, or if she'll be forever haunted by the memory of that night, always looking over her shoulder, waiting for the next bizarre encounter.
It's definitely a possibility, but then there's one final detail that hints at something more. A single page flutters down from the rafters of the library, landing at Saffron's feet. It's covered in an unfamiliar script, but there's a drawing of a single staring eye, and a title that sends shivers down your spine: For the Watcher.
Ooh, that's creepy. It definitely suggests that Saffron's story isn't over yet. Maybe there's a whole network of Watchers out there.
Right?
A secret society dedicated to protecting humanity from the unseen forces that lurk just beyond our perception. Or maybe it's a warning, a sign that something even more sinister is coming.
It's a question that's left unanswered, which is part of what makes these stories so compelling. They spark our imagination.
Yeah, it's true.
They make us think about the world in new ways, and they leave us wanting more. Now, before we wrap up, let's circle back to our Silk Road adventure. Remember Omar, our wealthy merchant turned reluctant caravan traveler? Well, the bandit attack comes during a blinding sandstorm. You can practically feel the grit on your skin, the wind whipping around you, the confusion and chaos as the bandits descend upon the caravan. And in the midst of this, Omar finds himself fighting alongside his companions, the very people he once looked down upon.
It's like the hardship of the journey, the shared experiences have forged a bond between them. He's no longer the isolated, arrogant merchant. He's part of something bigger, fighting for something more than just his own survival.
Exactly. And back in Kashgar, Yasmin comes face to face with the real Omar. He's furious, ready to reclaim what he believes is rightfully his. But instead of cowering, Yasmin stands her ground. She tries to reason with him to show him that there's more to life than wealth and power.
It's a powerful moment. These two souls, transformed by their swapped experiences, are trying to bridge the gap between their vastly different worlds.
And as the dust settles after the attack, the real Omar stands there, his sword raised, his eyes locked on the figure before him, the thief who stole his life, who dared to use his fortune for good. But something has changed within him. He sees a glimmer of his own transformation reflected in Yasmin's defiant gaze. He hesitates, a flicker of understanding replacing his rage.
It's almost as if their journeys have created a ripple effect, not just changing them individually, but influencing the people around them as well.
It's a reminder that even the most hardened hearts can soften, that change is possible even in the most unexpected circumstances. But whether that change will last, whether they'll retain the lessons learned when or if they switch back, that's a question left hanging in the air.
And sometimes the most satisfying stories are the ones that leave us with more questions than answers. It's the mystery, the ambiguity that keeps us thinking, that keeps us coming back for more.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So there you have it. Freaky Fanatics, two tales of swapped lives, hidden worlds, and the unexpected journeys that can transform us.
We'll on a ride.
We hope you enjoyed these freaky stories. If you did, be sure to rate and follow us for more mind-bending tales. And remember, the freakiest stories are often the ones waiting to be discovered just outside our everyday perception. Keep those imaginations running wild, and we'll see you next time.
Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep embracing the freakiness of it all.